Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. Today we are continuing our lab, the transformers. This is the 20 videos. I mean the video number 20. We will today continue our scenario with installing the Pfsense. We have installed in the previous two videos the Pfsense Firewall. We have configured it for the LAN and the WAN interface, and we said before what is the LAN and what is the WAN. And then after that we have integrated the Pfsense with the Active Directory, so we can enable users from the Active Directory to be able to access the firewall. Okay, so we don't need to create a local user on the Pfsense operating system or firewall, so you can be able to access the firewall. I mean, you don't need to go to the firewall and create a local user inside of the firewall system to be able to access the firewall. No, we have integrated the firewall with the Active Directory, so any user from the Active Directory, by just typing his Active Directory credentials, I mean the username and the password, and just put it in the field of the username and password, and then press enter, he will be able to access the firewall without a need to create a local user. So here in this video we will begin discovering the features of Pfsense. As I said before, it is a free open source firewall. It is trusted by some enterprises, and actually there is a lot using this free source firewall. It contains a lot of features. One of the features we will be discussing today, it is the Proxy Server. Its name is Squid. Okay, this is a free package, or I said a free software that can be added to the Pfsense firewall to make it act as a proxy server. And there is also another package from this Squid software called Squid Advanced. It will be used as a web filter. We can filter, use the firewall, or add another feature to the firewall to be a web filter. We can block some sites and allow some sites to specific users or specific user groups. But this video we are discussing how to enable or add a proxy feature or to add a proxy server feature to the Pfsense firewall. Basically, what is a proxy server? Here is a small description. I want to say, it says that it acts as an intermediate for requests from clients seeking resources from servers. Basically, if, for example, if you are, browsing, open a browser and typed, for example, www.google.com, the process goes as follows. The client, your PC, asks the router, I need to go to this website. So the router forward it to the public DNS or DNS server, for example, Google server, and then Google server will reply to the client that I found www.google.com, and then he will give it the IP address and to the router, and the router delivered it to the client, and then the client will be able to access or download the page. The proxy acts like an intermediate. It takes the request from the client and then forward it to the DNS. Okay, and it acts as a cache. A cache, what I mean, that for example, if the client asks for www.google.com and then he begin browsing it, and for any reason the internet was down, so the proxy server takes a copy of the page that he is currently browsing and put it locally on its hard disk. So when the user asks again for the same page, he doesn't have to go to the server of Google and get the page again. He will get it locally from the copy he have cached or he have saved on his local drive. I mean, simply, we will see this in a moment. Here we can see a description that says that, as I said before, it's a proxy server application, or that acts as an intermediate for requests from clients seeking resources from servers that provide those resources. A proxy server functions on behalf of the client when requesting service, potentially masking, and also it acts like a masking. It just basically it hides your ID, for example your IP address, from being to the public internet, to be published on the public internet. Instead of connecting directly to a server that can fulfill a requested resource such as a file or a web page, this is the example we are talking about, the client directs the request to the proxy server, which evaluates the request, then performs the required network transactions. These serve as a method to simplify or control the complexity of the request, provide additional benefits such as load balancing, privacy, or security, and add as a cache. As I said before, it cached the file. As I said before, here is a small description about the Squid. Can be configured to use as a proxy HTTP server, allowing Squid to retain copies of the documents returned, which on repeatedly request for the same document. This is what I am saying before. If the client asks for a specific page many times, you don't have every time to go to the internet or to go to the website and get the same page over and over. No, the proxy just take a local copy and put it on the server. So every time the client asks for it, he will get it uh, locally from the hard disk drive of the proxy server, not to go every time to the internet and get the page. So as I said before, here the Squid, it is said, can reduce time as well as bandwidth consumption. This is also a good way not to consume bandwidth on browsing the same page over and over. This is often useful for internet service providers to increase speed on their customers' LANs that share an internet connection. Because caching servers are controlled by web operators, caching proxy does not anonymize the user and should not be confused by anonymizing proxies. A client, okay, that basically we are going to do is to install a Squid proxy server. It will act as I said before, it will be acting as caching. As I said before, the proxy server is will act as a caching for the clients or for the websites, and we also will install another feature called Squid Advanced. This is will act as a web filter. So you'll all first we install the proxy server, and then we will install the web filtering option. So let's begin. Actually, to read more about what is the proxy server uh, and what is the Squid, I encourage you to go and Google it, okay? Because actually it's very simple and there is a lot of resources. Here we will begin install, but from Wikipedia we can see these two websites. You can refer to them. I hope I explained it as far as I could, as far as I can actually, because actually I am not maybe my language is not helping me in this, but actually it's simple. We will see this when we begin installing the feature. We will see it practically when we begin installing the feature. So let's begin. So here we're just powering up the domain controller and the firewall. So here we will access with our Active Directory credentials, not the local one. We have done this in the previous video, integrated the Active Directory with the firewall. So now I will access with my domain admin account. So here to install the Squid or the proxy server, you can see now that I am using my Active Directory. So we go to the package manager and you will install available packages. We will install or search for a package called the Squid. You can see here, just a minute, it says that it is high performance web proxy cache. It combines the Squid as proxy server with capabilities of acting as HTTPS reverse proxy. It includes as an exchange web access, SSL filtering, and antivirus. Okay, this Squid also is not only a proxy, it contains capabilities of antivirus. Uh, malware, something like this. So it not only acts as a web cache proxy server, but it acts also as a filter and acts and access a filter and antivirus as well. Okay, just antivirus for scanning back and forth the activity or the websites that the user access. Mainly it acts as an antivirus. This is all we need to know. So here we will install the package and then confirm. So here it will begin initializing the package. So here successfully the Squid software is successfully installed. Now we have it as a service. Now Squid proxy server. Now we have the proxy server. We will begin uh, configuring it. We'll do some changes to the configuration. We'll just increase the cache space that we need. We'll make it more so we can cache more websites. Here it's 100 meg. It's 3000 megs, which means 3 gigs. Okay, and then we will save. Just increase the cache space, so we can cache more websites. And then we will go and tell check to enable Squid proxy server, and we'll make it on the LAN. Okay, enable this to force DNS IP version 4 look up first. And let's discuss this option in a little bit. Okay, when we enable this feature, that means that uh, it will act as a transparent proxy server, which means that you don't need to go to every client and open the browser and add the proxy server IP address to each client manually in each browser. Okay, when we enable this feature, then you don't need to go to the client and open the browser and then open the options, internet options, and add the proxy server IP address. This will be acting as a transparent. You don't need to do this. It will work without going to the client and open. If you have one or two browsers, you need to open each browser and put the proxy server in each one of them. So we will enable this feature. If you don't want this to option to be used, so you need to make a group policy to enable the proxy server on all of the clients or all of the PCs on your workstation. But this is better. We will use this option. Here we make it on the LAN. Enable SSL. Here I need this. This is the option for enabling SSL filtering. This is also like it's filtering or inspecting the secure websites. Actually, to enable this feature, you have to have a certificate. Okay, so we will install. We will make a certificate server on. Also, there is a feature that you can enable or add a certificate server on the firewall itself and issue a certificate and then use it. We will see that in a moment. This is options need. Okay, splice all, and they will make it as LAN. And then compatibility, it will be intermediate. So we need, before, as I said before enabling HTTPS filtering, we need to have a certificate, to make a certificate and give it to the firewall. We need to have a certificate server and issue a certificate to be able to enable HTTP filtering, HTTPS filtering. So we now will create a certificate server from System Certificate Manager CA, and then edit. Here we will create an internal certificate authority. This is like creating a certificate server on the Windows server. We have already in previous videos make a certificate server on our domain controller. Here we will make a certificate server on the firewall. Mainly this is the server will issue the firewall will issue certificates, not the domain controller. We have done in a previous video add the certificate role feature on the domain controller, but this is different. This is a certificate server on the firewall, and this is feature you can do it on Pfsense. So here we are making a certificate server. We give it a name, and then we will choose the country code. Here we will make Egypt. And then the city. You can type anything, it's not really important. So now we have make a certificate. This is the root certificate, and then we'll make another intermediate certificates. This, if you know about, if you have some information about how to make a root certificate, then an intermediate certificate. Basically, when we make a root certificate, this is a server that issues certificates to be delivered to the clients. This will be done once. This server will make one certificate only, okay, or will issue a certificate, and then we will make another certificate server, which is called intermediate certificate server. This will be the one delivering these certificates. Okay, I think we can do this in So here, guys, if you need to know what is the difference between the intermediate certificate and the root certificate. Here is a website you can all read to know how this is done, but we will do it. Actually, I don't, it needs a lot of explaining, but we will work as it is. So you will make then an intermediate certificate. So we will make another certificate authority. The first one was called internal certificate, and this is called intermediate certificate, internal intermediate certificate. So we have two certifications that will be used for enabling the HTTPS SSL filtering feature on the proxy server. So we have two certificates now, self-assigned certificate. One is called internal, and the one is called internal and intermediate. Now we will go to certificates and add. Here we'll issue a certificate. Create. Here we create an internal certificate. Here we will make a certificate. We have done the certificate authority. We have two certifications, one an intermediate and the other is the root certificate. We will issue an intermediate certificate. The common name will be the name of the full name of the firewall. It's a server certificate, and then we will add the name and the IP address of the firewall. Because basically we need to know that what we are doing now is to enable the HTTPS SSL filtering on the proxy server. We don't need to know how the certificate chain works, okay? You just need to follow the steps, okay? Just make what I'm doing in the video, and then we can later discuss how certificates work, or you can just refer to Google and see how the certification chain works. Just follow the steps exactly as it is. Okay, we'll make an IP address. So here we will return back to our configuration of the Squid server, Squid proxy server. We will enable the SSL, enable SSL filtering, and this is splice all. And here we will choose the certification authority. We will choose the server that will issue the certificate, and then we will check these options. And then we will check all these options. This will enable log for the Squid server. it will 7 means that he will keep this log for 7 days, and then after that deletes the logs. This is the name of the server. And then after that we will save. So now we will enable also, I think, the antivirus. Here we have to export these two certifications and add them to the client or to the browser of the client. This is for the SSL. We need to publish these certifications to the clients to be able to access the secure websites. I think this need to be done through a group policy. Actually, in a couple of minutes we will see that there is a problem with those certifications, so I am just still investigating. I just show you how to enable this feature and how to work with it, but there is a problem with it, so I think I will disable this feature later, and until I begin uh, troubleshooting what is the problem. We will see that now. I open my domain controller and take these two certifications and import it to my browser. So now I will access the firewall. We'll try, sorry, to browse the internet. The Facebook, we have HTTPS, so we need to test the proxy and see if it will work. It's working, and the Facebook is working normally. So the proxy is in effect. But here I will add the two certifications that I have issued. We will see after adding these two certifications that there is a problem. It will not work for some reason. Here, for example, the Squid server is not acting only as a proxy, but it will be as also web filtering. So now I'm just basically telling the proxy that I need to block the Facebook from the ACL. Okay, we have already added Facebook. And we'll try to access it again. As we can see that the proxy has blocked the Facebook, so the proxy server is working here as we see before. Secure connection, here it blocks the Facebook. From a couple of minutes it was working. but now because we have SSL encryption and we have blocked it, so it will not work. So here we will try to get it from the blacklist and then save. And we will go to see if we can access the Facebook after getting it from the blacklist. So here we succeed. We can see now that the blacklist is working, the proxy is working. So the Squid is not working as a proxy server only, but it was working as a web filter. So we need to block the Facebook and a couple of websites. So now we enable the antivirus on the proxy server, and we will make an update. We tell him to enable Google Safe browsing support, and then we will tell him to update every hour, to update this antivirus every hour. And we will choose the nearest server to our location for the update. So as you see now, the Squid is not only a proxy, it's a proxy and a web filtering and an antivirus, all in three and all in one. Just normally, like if you see the FortiGate or the Sophos, they have the same options. And then we can see from the real time, this is the log. We can see all of the logs for the proxy server. This is all of the transactions done through the proxy. And we can see here that the antivirus begin updated at the bottom. I'm trying to browse Yahoo, but we will later also block Yahoo just to make sure that our proxy server is working. Okay, he didn't get Yahoo, but in a minute we will see that it's maktub.com. I think it's just a minute. I am just typing it, but it was not correct. So I will go to Google and type it. So here we will take this website and add it to the blacklist for the proxy. So here the proxy is up and running, and we have done a couple of tests and see that it is working. So here, as I said before, we will take the two certifications issued by the firewall and import it to my browser so I can be able to browse secure websites. Okay, all beginning with HTTPS. But as I said before, uh, there is an issue with this option. As we see, after enabling or after importing these certifications, I will not be able to browse any HTTPS sites. I'm just troubleshooting this now as I'm speaking with you, but in the meantime I will show you or we are now working, or I will showing you that how to enable HTTPS filtering on the Squid. Okay, so here you have installed the certification. This is on the Firefox and we can install it on the Internet Explorer. As I said before, to distribute these certificates to the clients, you need to make a group policy and push these certificates to the clients. But as for now, I have only 2 servers, so I will install the certifications manually. And as I said before, this certificates, the purpose of it to enable the firewall to inspect or uh, to monitor every HTTPS website and make sure that these connections are secure and it is valid, not a phishing server or a suspicious server. So now we are installing the certification on the Internet Explorer. First we put it in the trusted publishers or trusted root certificates and then trusted intermediate certificates. So now we will begin installing another package, which is Squid Advanced. This package will enable us to web filter more advanced web filter features. We can block sites by category. We can block multiple websites, not only only one website, as in the normal Squid package. The Squid, it's called the SquidGuard. The SquidGuard has uh, more features in the field of web filtering, more advanced features in the web filtering. So we can see from the Squid guard that we can block by category or block multiple websites at once. We will see that now in a moment. Here we see the Squid proxy server, it's there. SquidGuard, this is the one for web filtering. We will check the option and apply. We'll enable the logging feature, all of the logs, so we can see what's going on. We make apply until It says that the SquidGuard service is working or started. Now it's started. So now we can block websites by category or block multiple websites. We can see here for target categories we will add. Here we'll make a group, we call it block social media, for example. Media websites, and here we will leave the order as it is, and we will put the websites we need to block. We need, if you are having multiple websites, we need to make space after each website. If after each website, for example, facebook.com, then space, Twitter, okay.com, and then space, for example, linkedin.com. So this is all social media websites. The difference between this and the normal Squid, that here you can block by category and block multiple websites, and there is more advanced features in the SquidGuard, not the normal Squid. Okay, so we can save and we check log. So here it's saying that the name should be there is no spaces, and there need to be only between 2 and 16 characters, no spaces between the names. Okay. So here we will go, after making the category, we'll go to the target list, and then the default we need to make it allow. This is the first rule, and then the second rule, it's taking, or it is executing it from down to up. Okay, so the first rule will be applied, and then the second rule will be applied. So he will allow all traffic, and the second he will block after that only the social media or the sites we have added. So now we have added our first block group, or block website groups, blocked website groups. I need just to get out the Facebook from the Squid, because it was there before. So to test our SquidGuard, so not to confuse between this and this. So now just after every change we need to make click the apply button, just to make sure that our configuration is applied or is working and running. Just here revising the target rules. The first one is allow all access, and then the second rule is to block the websites we have added a couple of seconds. Okay. And then apply again. So here we'll try to test our blocked website rule. Here is the problem. Okay, I thought it was first the blocking list I did, but this issue is because of the certificate of the firewall that I have imported to my browser. This is error. I don't know how, or until now I didn't solve it, but in my second video or my next video I will try to solve it. Okay, so but this issue is with the certificate of the server. There is a problem with it. So we will try to see LinkedIn. Here it is the one. This is working. When I type linkedin.com, the block list works. You can see here. You can see here that is forbidden. It's a proxy forbidden. This is the one that we did, and he is giving us the target group that we have done is block social media, the one they created a couple of seconds, and the client server. This is the client and the name of the client, and the website it is blocked. Okay, this is the only one working. As for the Twitter and the Facebook, it wasn't working for me. I thought it is a problem, and actually Google also is not working. So I think there is an issue with the certificate of the server. I will see how this. I am just troubleshooting it now and see maybe there is something to be done on this issue. So here we can bypass this. Okay, Twitter, we have the same error. Okay, okay. The all of this trials for me is just to try to test and see what is the issue with this error appearing for me. As I said before, this appeared after installing or importing the certificates of the firewall. Okay, this issue is appearing. I have done several trials. I tried, for example, YouTube. YouTube is not, it is not blocked. Okay, but there is also a issue because it's HTTPS, so there is also a problem after installing the firewall certifications. This is from my troubleshooting. I tried. So what I did, I tried to uninstall or remove the certificates from the browser. Okay, I have done this, and I go and uninstall the certifications from both the Firefox and the Internet Explorer, but it didn't work for some reason. I don't know. I have tried. We'll go here. It is the transformers. Okay, we can get a little bit. Yes. This is for the browser, the firewall. Also, not to bother you all, I have already uninstalled the certification. Here I have just already removed it. Okay. So when I begin performing again, I go to the website. He asked me that you should have a certification from. This is the name of certification of my firewall. You need to install it. Okay, to be able to browse this website. I install it again, but still the issue. There is a problem. I don't know what it is until now. So I have done some trials. I installed and reinstalled the certifications, but still the problem persists. I tried it through the Internet Explorer. It worked, okay, but it's not complete. There is something not correct also. I have tried it Facebook. Still, I have the same error. Also, this is because of the certification of the firewall. So I have tried it once and again. Okay, the Google also, it's any website that contains HTTPS is not working. This is because of the certification of the firewall. As I said before, I have removed all of the certifications. This is again and again, and still the issue, this error. Let me turn back. I have this error still again. this error. Okay, SSL record too long. I need to test this and see what's the problem with this. But mainly we are working now with the Squid server is working perfectly, the blacklist is working, the group of websites we are trying to block is working. Here's the issue of the arising of the HTTPS websites not working. I will see how this can be solved in the next video, but until now we have worked with the Squid server and the SquidGuard, and all of them are working perfectly. Okay, so we'll see now in the next video how to solve this issue of the certification that we have imported and not working with the firewall. So I think now it's finished. Until I see you next video, thank you so much.